Hey there, it's Anthony Metivier from magneticmemorymethod.com. Did you know that singing on the street is illegal in Canada? At least that's what I learned when I took a security guard certification. Now, it's a pretty weird image of me being a security guard, but believe it or not, I once stood wearing a security guard uniform in front of a mirror, but I never actually wore it on duty. I worked as a store detective for about 6 months, and it was absolutely, well, I'll tell you about that in a bit. But what I wanted to talk about today is about fasting and memory. And the reason why is because I've been doing some experiments. Now, everything I'm going to say is totally not medical advice of any kind, in any way, or for any purpose. So if you're going to do this kind of stuff, go and see your doctor. My question for myself is, can fasting help give an edge or improve memory? Can it be advantageous for practicing memory palaces, for example? And what I've found so far is that it really isn't. And I'm not sure exactly why, because fasting seems to create a great deal of focus. For example, I'm fasting right now. I'm approaching 23 hours of a fast that I started last night. And today I've just been rip-roaring through all kinds of work and just boom, very clear and focused. But when I took a break to work on some recall drills, recall rehearsal from memory palaces, it's like there's a barrier there. There's too much of a reach to recall these images that on other days are just bam, 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 bam. So the real question is, why is that? I don't know, but it's very interesting, and my conclusion so far from having done these experiments for a while is that fasting is more like a barrier to recall than it is a help, even though it seems to create focus in so many other areas. Now, you may be wondering what my fasting schedule is like. It's basically 2 24-hour sessions per week. I start Wednesday evenings and end Thursday evenings, and then I start Saturday evenings and end Sunday evenings. And that fits in really nicely with my gym schedule, which is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. So I never go without having eaten breakfast. Although some intermittent fasters, they do their workouts without having eaten, and they'll break their fast, say 6 p.m. or something, and then from 6 p.m. before they sleep, they'll do their 2,000 calories. I don't do 2,000 calories on my fast days, which may or may not be a good thing. Again, not medical advice in any stretch of the imagination, but it is what I'm working on. And I've lost a tremendous amount of weight in the last while, part of which has to do with fasting, but also general fitness and eating according to a very specific memory diet that I had designed with help of medical or health consultants, and really doing a lot of memory drills based around that. And they're very exciting. About the memory drills, well, there are some other videos on the channel that you can look at where I was starting this project, specifically memorizing cards in noisy locations and matching that with experiments with like bulletproof coffee for a while. And that may also be a barrier, actually, is drinking coffee. I don't drink it very often and only for experimental purposes, although sometimes I drink it just because I like it, but I'm not a coffee drinker overall. And it's very interesting. So I think that all of this belongs not to science so much, but n=1 experiments, which is very important in the world of memory, because we have all the scientific data in the world that we need to demonstrate the validity of mnemonics, the validity of using memory palaces, for example, and crazy associative imagery inside of those memory palaces in order to easily and very quickly learn and memorize and recall information so that we can drill that information using our minds, not software, to get the information into long-term memory, especially with language learning, where you are able to first memorize a sequence of words and then memorize phrases around those words and practice recalling them in speaking sessions with a speaking partner, and also practice writing them from memory. This is all perfect. And if you've seen my video on the Big Five of language learning, it goes into that in greater detail. In any case, super powerful stuff. And I have totally lost my train of thought, so I guess I'm not that focused after all. But it is getting to the end of the fast, and I have been working hard today. In fact, it was so windy outside, my hair is all tousled. Anyway, security guard Yeah, I was a detective, store detective for about 6 months, and it was heartbreaking because I thought, I'd be arresting all of these big burly guys that were hiding chainsaws in their dresses, like they would dress as women and stuff, which is what they actually told us. They showed us video of burly men dressed as women stealing chainsaws, just whoosh, up the skirt and away they go, and it was awesome. I only ever tussled with one guy who had these kind of blades for bandsaws or whatever you call these saws, but that was a minor scuffle, and I only got hurt a bit when he threw one at me. But other than that, it was arresting hospital janitors and cafeteria workers and high school teachers, and they would cry and they would cry, and it was so sad because I dragged them back to a room kicking and screaming, and the evil, mean police officer would yell at them, bark at them, and tell them what evil human beings they were and so forth. I think they were just bored. I mean, not the most exciting jobs in the world, and whatever, maybe they were kleptomaniacs. Anyway, I had to quit because it was heartbreaking, but it did pay the bills at a certain point during my university years. So that's my story with that. Anyway, I don't know if it's true or not, but during the certification for my license to actually have a job like that, they taught us that in Canada it's illegal to sing on the streets. So something to look up if you're interested. Very, very, very fascinating tidbit of trivia. I'm going to go take a shower and eat something. This has been Anthony Metivier from magneticmemorymethod.com. If you like this kind of information, click like and share and leave comments and all of that kind of stuff. And if you'd like a training in memory, there's 4 free video series on magneticmemorymethod.com. I guarantee I made the videos on a day when I wasn't fasting and I had food in my system, and I don't know if I was any more or less clear on that day or not, but I know you're going to enjoy learning how to make a memory palace, the optimal memory palace that you possibly can, and you're going to be able to use it to learn, memorize, and recall anything very, very quickly and very, very effectively like that. So head on over to magneticmemorymethod.com. You'll see the little place to register for that video series, and I look forward to hearing from you. Until very, very soon, keep magnetic.